The recent update in Fisch has added Castbound rod masteries, and some of the requirements are owning specific rods. As you can see here, I don't actually own all of them, so I'll be trying to make a guide about every single one of these and how you can obtain them and what's the process. For this part, we'll be starting off with an Igneous Rupturer rod. We'll be going through some fishing in lava pools, some weird mechanics where we have to catch some clams, and I'll even share some ways and tips on how to do it faster, and we'll finish it all off with a little bit of a puzzle that lets you unlock the area where you can obtain the Igneous Rupturer rod. Without further ado, let's get into it. Even beginner grind at obtaining the Igneous Rupturer rod. Need a rod that allows you to fish in lava pools, magma pool. There's probably 3 paths that you can take. One is the easy path, which is either obtaining a magma rod or it's called the volcanic rod. Magma rod you can get from a quest here in the Roslet Bay. That's just behind this little hill. There's a little guy named Orc. He looks like an orc. He'll give you a quest to catch a puffer fish for pretty much this location, bring it back to him, and he'll reward you with the magma rod. Doesn't have great stats, but allows you to fish in lava or magma pools. The volcanic rod that I've just showed you, you can actually check out my guide. I'll link it up here above and probably include it below. It's if you just go down to the very first level of the Mariana's Whale using your submarine, you can pretty much just purchase it there. I believe it has like a level requirement of 100 or 150. But yeah, that's not a great way. Second option is some of the mid-level rods, and I'll put up the whole chart somewhere on the screen. So basically, the better the rod, the higher tier it is, the more chances it has that it will allow you to fish in the lava/magma pools. So yeah, that's your choices. Whichever one you have, whichever one you prefer to go with, pick that, and I'll meet you there. You can figure out what to do next. So by now, it's pretty dated-ish content, but arriving in Scoria's Reach, the first thing you have to look out for is the heat mechanic. So if you've never done anything here in the Scoria Reach, this is where the most of the action will take place, and the first thing you'll notice is you'll get the heat mechanic. So the way it works is, you just saw me unequip the Scoria armor. You can only equip this one from, I believe it's like 20 or 25% Bestiary completion of the Scoria Reach. An alternative to that is Glimmerfin suit. So again, if you watch my guide on the Mariana's Whale, you probably have one that gives you level 3 suit. That also will help you with controlling the heat to not make it go up as crazy. Your best option is obviously going to be Scoria armor. But once you have your rod that allows you to fish in the magma pools, you don't really have to talk to anybody. You just go past everybody else. And I'd say the recommended spot would be here. That's the lava clam abundance. Because that's where you'll be spending a lot of your time. As fun as it sounds, so it's not some like crazy mythical or whatever secret fish that you'll be catching. You'll be catching clams, and you'll be going after pearls. So as you can see, I have a bunch of them, and it will be a requirement to finish off one of the last steps of the quest, you could say, or the bestiary completion. So the way this works is, there's, I believe, 3-4 pearls, that you actually catch in this specific lava pool, and the rest of them you kind of have to find them throughout. And in this next clip, I'll show you where to find the remainder of the pearls and what's the best method to catch them. So in this location, as you can see, we're just behind the Roslet Bay. You kind of go around where the volcano is, and you'll find these clam abundances. Doesn't really matter which one you pick. Most people either go with this one or that one for whatever reason. But basically, what you want to do is you want to be fishing here, and the best equipment to do it is, it's called the Toxin Burst Rod. You don't have to have the long enchant for it. I just had to do a quest. But the way it works is that once you equip it, it will spawn these sort of like mushrooms that you can see all around you, and that will allow you to passively obtain these pearls. So just by spending your time around here, it will trigger the passive of this rod, and you'll slowly start obtaining pearls where you don't have to really do much. The second best option is the Spirit of the Forest rod, and that's not, so to say, to gain the pearls passively, but it's just to be able to level up the rod really fast. So depending on the season, you will be obtaining these pearls really fast because it's easy to catch them, and you will be getting some better stats. That would be my second, probably best recommendation. Obviously, what helps is something like glitched potions or something like lure speed, but generally speaking, they're not difficult to catch, and it should be pretty fast. And again, as I said, with the Toxin Burst rod, issue begins where you need a bunch of these pearls. As I was saying before, for the Scoria Reach, there's 1, 2, 3, I believe there's 4 pearls that you'll need to catch, and this one will probably take you longest time because see it's like an exotic one, but that's where you'll find it in the abundance. The rest of the pearls, you just kind of catch them here. Now the main pearl you'll be going after is, there it is, couldn't see it between all the pearls. So this one is the next one that you'll actually need. It's called the Golden Sea Pearl. It's, legends say it's one of the rarest things you can catch. Well, not the rarest, but one of the most annoying. But again, this is where you catch it. You just catch the regular clamps and you have a whatever chance finding all these pearls. I'll put up a chart of how many of them you need for a specific device to insert in the Scoria Reach to let you progress and like unlock the Igneous Rupturer rod. But that's your basic setup. So you fish here, you fish at the Scoria Reach, you get your pearls. So we're now back in the Scoria Reach, and you've probably been fishing for a while. Feel free to go ahead and fish a bit in the Molten Serpent Abundance Pool and in this area. So in general, you should have like a pretty decent amount of things collected. Keep in mind that these things that are like on the very common section, you can probably just use your garbage bait to catch those. But you should have like a decent percent of completion. So after that, you can make your way to the so-called town area or the merchant spot. And as I said, from 20 or 25%, you can obtain the Scoria armor that will pretty much allow you to nullify the heat gained around this general area. And I believe at 50% Bestiary completion, you'll be able to obtain the Daybreaker rod. It's not per se the best recommended rod to catch the Skeletal Leviathan with, but I've managed to do it with it. I just had to put, I believe it's Cryogenic Enchant on it, just to freeze it in place randomly. Took me a while, but I managed to do it, and it's overall a pretty decent rod. You can also obtain a couple more things like geodes and some obsidian bone bait, which is pretty expensive, but it has really, really good stats. Check it up, buy one, show you. And yeah, it has really good stats, and I believe it's the preferred bait of the Skeletal Leviathan that spawns in a different location. Now, why did I start off with pearls? Pearls is a very important mechanic here, because let's say once you have all this list collected, really hope that you have doubles of whichever pearls you got. You got them all on your first try, congrats. If not, this is where we want to go down. Going down into the mine shaft. This is the other important part for the quest. I accidentally cut it off here. So you'll make your way down to the mines, and here you'll see a bunch of crabs. There's also another abundance pool. You can fish some like certain fishes here, one of them being the crag-crab, which is technically secret fish, I guess that's what it indicates. And you'll just fish here. I believe the preferred bait is coal, and you can do that while you've collected these pearls from the Scoria Reach. So technically they all come from the so-called lava clams, and probably you want to aim for the Ashy Pearl and the Sulfur Pearl. You don't want to lose these, and I would just hope you get a lot of doubles, because that's what you're going to be using to feed those crabs, and they will actually bring you back some stuff. What they will bring back is like a bunch, like could be random fishes, whatever, but your general aim for is these fragments. So you'll need to obtain 3 of those to unlock so-called area where you can obtain the Igneous Rupturer, and the last 2 I think you just need for like general collection. I can't even. But yeah, I believe they also bring these back, where we can maybe catch them randomly, but I believe the crabs will bring them too. But that's why you needed like a bunch of these clams. You can see the crab will be time just to mine most of the ore. You can actually leave them here, go back and do your stuff, and come back after a while, and it will allow you to collect. But yeah, that's your sort of second mechanic, and it's required to get the % Bestiary completion. Once the crabs finished gathering your loot, you got all the pearls that you wanted, probably pretty close to, let's hope, 100% Bestiary completion, but you might still be after the Skeletal Leviathan. Not sure where to actually fish. Where does it spawn? I believe by this time you should have gotten the event multiple times, but basically this is where the town area is. This is where we fished in the lava pools, and just a bit to the side you can like climb here multiple ways or just kind of go around it. But inside there is another cave, and as you can see here, we actually have a Skeletal Leviathan that has just spawned recently. You'll be fishing here. Again, I think it's per bird, or you can use it for like the hunt focus, the Skeletal Leviathan rod actually. But you can use any rod that has an invincible enchant on it, even though it has like a pretty crazy mechanics. It takes a while to catch it. Once you do manage to catch it, and the recommended bait, I believe, is the Obsidian Bone Bait that you saw me show you, where you can purchase it next to the merchant. While fishing here, keep in mind that even with the Scoria Reach Armor, your temperature will start to gradually go up. Take a while for it to bite, so so often, sure that you exit the cave, chill here for a little bit until the temperature drops down, and then go back in. If you're planning your catch, and you can see that you've been here for a while, like you're going all the way up to like 45 degrees or something like that, step out for a bit, because if you hook the fish, the temperature gauge doesn't stop and it will keep going up and it will actually die. So yeah, you don't want to end up in that situation. At least it happened quite often. So now let's say you finish catching it, you got your Skeletal Leviathan, great, you got 100% completion. How do you get the Igneous Rupturer? So to do that, you actually have to backtrack a little bit. And if you arrived from this sort of shipwright is and direction of Moosewood, you probably saw this guy called the Scoria Guard. He will actually only talk to you when you have 100% Bestiary completion, and then he will give you a quest to obtain these 3 fragments. If you remember, we got these from our crabs that were actually gathering it for us, so hopefully by this time you should have all of them. But then we can say that, hey, cool, done, I got all the fragments, do the quest, and you'll say you'll now go need Daybreaker rod. No idea what it is. But yeah, as you also saw the message, my crab just finished gathering stuff. So now I'll move on to the location of where you place the pearls and the fragments, then how to actually make the sort of lava go down at the Skeletal Leviathan pool in your Igneous Rupturer rod. So pretty much where the lava pools are, merchant is just right here. So go up, fishing here. If you go past here, this direction, see this device. It's called the Igneous Altar. And here you see a bunch of lights. And basically what it means is that it indicates what kind of pearl. And after you insert them, you'll actually see these sort of like light up. Notice. Pearl. Ashy Pearl, I'm not sure if I pressed it yet. There you go. You can see one of the lights up. And basically what you do is like you go through all the pearls that you have, and it will keep lighting them up one by one. Sacrifice them. one, and it's the Deadly Golden Pearl. And here it goes. Boom. Okay, so that's all the pearls sacrificed at the crab altar. So you should see something like this where pretty much all of them are lit up. You can't really see too well with the Ashy Pearl. Looks like it's dead, but I can't do it anymore. Basically means that all of the pearls are sacrificed. So we move on to the next part, which is going to be the fragments. So I'll try to find a good spot to show you all of the locations, and I'll continue then. Here we're up to the important part. It's placing down the fragments. Now, I did probably, if I did forget, a small little montage where I placed them once, filmed another segment of the video showing you how to get to the Igneous Rupturer rod, and then the lava raised at that exact moment. Insert clip. So I messed up and I didn't know that these fragments actually disappear. So the idea here is that you get your Daybreak rod, you have it ready and equipped. There's 3 pillars that you'll need to place the fragments on, and I'll show them to you just in a couple of moments, and kind of do it in the same sort of maybe pattern that I do, because you only have a limited amount of time that the lava will go down for. It doesn't matter if the Skeletal Leviathan has spawned or not. At worst case, you'll need to fish once, the lava will go down, you can go down there and pick up the rod. So without further ado, you get these fragments from the crabs. You just place them down and move on to the next one. I believe the lava will only go down once you place the 3rd one. So I was at the very top where sort of the volcano is, not exactly very top, but this is where the town is. You kind of follow this path, go up here, then we're just gonna go right behind here. There's another cave. That's not the cave where the Skeletal Leviathan spawns. It's technically right next to us, but this is where you'll find your next fragment location or pillar, and you place down the 2nd one, leave the cave, and you pretty much go back to the town area, or if you remember where all the lava pools were. Make our way down there, place the last one, and that's technically when the lava is supposed to be going down. So let's make our way, all of the lava pools, kind of following this direction. This is where we place down all the pearls. And again, keep in mind that it's for a limited amount of time, so you kind of have to be sort of fast about this. But yeah, this is where we find the sulfur fragment, so we pick it up, place it down. You won't get any sort of message or anything like that. That's not it, it just crabs still hunting. But yeah, I had to make this sort of go down once again, so we only get one shot. So this is where it is. This is where the Skeletal Leviathan will spawn, and as you can see, the lava is still up. So what we do is we cast our rod, do a bit of fishing. Technically the lava should be going down, and as you can see, after like the first random catch, the lava starts going down. We can jump down to this platform and pick up the Igneous Rupturer rod. That's the stats for it. I don't want to spend too much time on it, so I'll just pick it up. It costs 5 million, and that's it. You can make your way out of here. If you don't have anything like a gravity coil, you'll probably have to have a bit of fun, swim in the lava. So that's the rod. Finally got it. Igneous Rupturer. And the reason why we got it, even though it's a pretty decent rod, it's mainly because that's the Castbound rod. One of the mastery requirements is to own an Igneous Rupturer. So far we have 2 rods down, including the Verdant Oath. We're going to be moving on to the next ones in the other parts. So, hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit like, subscribe, comment if you liked my fails or me taking so long explaining it. But I felt like a lot of the guides missed some important parts, especially like the stuff about these fragments, where if you don't do it in time, it'll disappear. But thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a comment. What do you think about these guides? Bye!